Hey, what's up? A question I get from my clients all the time is, should you put your prices on your website or not? This is a massive conversation that often pops up in the marketing, coaching, consulting, author space all the time, and there are some conflicting pieces of information on it. In this video today, I'm going to weigh in on what I think you should do about pricing and transparency. Hey, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Andrea Reindl. I'm the founder of Legacy Creative and a brand strategist. For more than a decade, my team and I have helped many authors, speakers, trainers, consultants, leaders, those types of people build very profitable businesses using solid brand and marketing strategies. In today's video, we are going to cover something that comes up all the time with our clients. Should you put your prices on your website? How transparent do you be about your prices? Do you or don't you mention what kind of pricing you do? And for this conversation, I'm really excited that you get to watch a candid conversation with a friend of mine. Her name is Shannon Hernandez. She is the founder of the Joyful Business Revolution, and she is all about super transparency and how to build very profitable businesses that are joyful and fun and make a big impact. You can see why the two of us are friends and why this is a fun conversation. So here's what we're going to cover with Shannon and I. Number one, how to get people to trust you more by being transparent with your pricing. Number two, ways you can put your prices on your website if it's not quite so fixed, like if you don't really have just a black and white pricing, but say you've got like a service or a product that you need to scope out for someone, no problem. We cover ways you can do that. And number three, why you just won't be able to scale if your pricing is not transparent, simple, and clear. Here's the thing. I do believe that you should post your prices and it will help you in the long run. And if you do, your business will grow faster. I know it's a hot topic, so while you watch this interview, if you have any questions, be sure to pop them in the comments below. Shannon and I will answer them, and hopefully we'll have a great conversation about pricing your programs. Thanks, and enjoy the conversation with Shannon and I. This is actually how you and I connected and got to know each other, or at least this is where I felt connected to you. I don't know if it's went both ways, but we were talking about pricing on your website of your programs and transparency about pricing. And should you like put your prices out there, or should you hide them in a corner and then eventually reveal them after you've taken people's time?
And the hate mails I get on this one.
Oh, I know, right? And then we were in what I call violent agreement of you should be transparent about your prices to some degree. I mean, or like completely, even if it's a starting point. So tell me your thoughts on pricing, transparency, posting them on your website, and what you think about that.
Okay, here's the short version.
Yeah.
I will never buy from you if there is no reference to any sort of pricing point.
Yeah.
I understand there are people that have, project-based pricing, and it depends on this, but you can still say and give me and everyone else a roundabout, projects start at 20K or projects start at 5K or whatever. Like there's a way to do that. And not only on your website, but it should be part of your sales process and your intake form, where I get to acknowledge that I've seen the pricing. And I even say that because there are a lot of people who book consultations with us. They've never been to a website. They're not over on the website. They've read something. They're like, ooh, I want that, right? So now they're seeing the pricing for the first time on the sales form.
Right.
And I never want, this goes back to what I just told you. I am not convincing anyone of anything anymore. I'm not doing it, right? And so, if it is appalling to me that anyone can still say, I don't need to tell people my pricing till they're on the phone with me.
Yeah.
Like when I go buy a house, I have a budget and I look within the budget.
Yes.
When I go buy a car, I have a budget and I look within, like, this is not out of the realm of what is normal behavior. And somehow in the coaching industry and consulting industry, it's become like, oh my God, she posts her price. Like, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
It's crazy. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so my thoughts are this. Let's go back to like when I buy a car, I'm within a price range, right? So, maybe you're at the high end of Toyota and the low end of BMW, right? That might be, so to walk into the Toyota and the BMW dealership, not the Maserati and the Hyundai dealership, right? Like it's just, it's so important that you give people at minimum a range so that they know if they're a fit for you and you're a fit for them. Furthermore, as a business owner, my thoughts are, it's okay to price yourself accordingly, like an in brand. I often ask people, if your brand was a car, what would it be and why? Because that gives you a pretty good indication of a whole lot of things. If someone says I'm a, Chevy Sprint, that's a very different conversation than a Tesla, right? Like it's a whole, so understanding that I think is so important for your audience and for you, and it saves everybody time. The other thought I have on that is that, especially with my team, I see this behind the scenes, that there is at least 50% of the population that will never get on a phone call with you unless you give them some range of price, because for whatever reason, maybe they're too shy, maybe they're an introvert, maybe they don't, like to do that or whatever. They won't waste anybody's time until they know if they can afford it or not. And, so like you're totally losing at least 50% of the population, if not much higher than that. I would suspect it's close to 75%, but it's at minimum 50%.
Yeah. And I will say, when people continue to preach, now this is all tied in to messaging, marketing, transparency and pricing, sales. This is why I live in this world that I live in, right?
Yeah.
Sales is a numbers game. 20% or higher is good. I don't buy any of that shit. You know why? Because I've educated up front. I've gotten rid of, or they're now ready to buy is how I want to say it. Maybe they weren't ready to buy. They were exploring options, which is normal, right? They've looked at the pricing. They've heard about it. They can see it. They can run their own numbers. They get on a call with Amy. They acknowledge the pricing. You wonder why our close rates are 60% and higher? That's why.
Yeah, because you filtered out all the stuff before that. And the other thing that I think about pricing that a lot of people don't talk about is I've been behind the scenes of a lot of different businesses. Like I'm really lucky that behind the scenes is like in their software, read their spreadsheets, seen the sales reports, seen the P&Ls. I have never seen one that's growing rapidly and scaling that's still busy making deals, or doesn't transparently have their pricing, or that not anyone in the organization can look at it and say, well, our packages start at $5,000 and they go up, or it's just super clear pricing. Like if you want to be this kind of, if you want to work with us at this rate, it's $4,995. And they know the pricing. And I have never seen a business grow rapidly that goofs with its pricing on a regular basis.
Yeah, I love it. And I will say this, because, I test everything before I make these claims. The year that I put the pricing straightforward, and talked about it and talked about why I was doing it, was the year we went from 250K to 550K.
Yeah.
The next year we went to 750K.
Yeah. And you probably could have gone even higher than that. Like when there's transparency and alignment is when stuff grows really, really fast in any business. And it's like another perspective or analogy or way to think of it is none of us would go sit down at a restaurant. Well, actually, there's a few restaurants where there's no pricing on the menu, but almost all restaurants have pricing on the menu, right? And you go and you sit down and you're probably shopping by how do you feel and what does that meal cost? And you wouldn't just randomly start ordering without knowing what's the price of the drink, the appetizer, and the main that you're looking at getting. Just be transparent, give people what it's going to cost, and let that be what it is. And if it's something that's like the fish that's market price, you put all the ingredients on there and you put market price, and everybody knows ish what that's going to cost based on what kind of restaurant you're in.
Absolutely.
At least where I am, market price is always on fish. I don't know what it is where you are, but for whatever reason, fish is the thing that seems to fluctuate the most where we have no ocean.
I don't know, because we eat vegan, so whatever a broccoli is, it is.
Broccoli is probably always the same price, right? So nice. Good. Okay. What's the one thing that you wish people would understand about pricing and transparency?
People will trust you more when you just tell them what is. I spend all week with my clients in marketing, messaging, sales, psychology, all this stuff. And I need a play button that says this: say what is.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, and I'm like, what does this mean? Like you said, you used 20 words here. What are you really trying to say? And they're like, well, it's just this. And I'm like, say what is.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And then, do you know a hack I use for this with my clients? I don't know if you use this one too. If they're getting too clever and not clear, I'll say, how would you explain it to a 5-year-old?
Absolutely.
And suddenly it's crystal damn clear. And there's like and they just explain it. I'm like, why didn't we just start there?
You know what? Can we talk about one more thing in this little topic?
Absolutely.
So many people will tell you, don't talk about multiple offers. You'll confuse your people. I want to tell you, when you decide that you work with smart people and you write marketing that is non-elusive and straight to the point, you can have 15 offers and trust that your people will find the one that's right for them.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that drives me bonkers.
Then not talking to smart people, like assuming that you have to like dumb it down for people. Is that what you mean? But I was just going to go on that topic.
Well, but the theory that people can't make a decision if you give them more than one thing to look at. It's ridiculous to me. So every newsletter I send out on Monday, there's a section at the bottom and it says, want to revolutionize your messaging and marketing? Here's 2 options. 1, 2, don't want one of these, book a call with Amy. Want to attend a live event? Here's the 4 options we have coming up. Bam, 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 bam. Not sure? Book a call with Amy. Like, people are smart.
Yeah.
Can we just assume? I mean, I only want to work with smart, successful business owners, so I talk to them as such. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Because
Say what is.
If you simplify it too much, you probably don't want the people that understand your marketing, right? Because then you got to like explain everything to them when really you don't have to do that. Smart people will convert. Something that someone said to me, it was Simon Bowen that said this, and it just landed. So it sat with me. I'm still thinking about it 4 months later, is he said, our job is to continue to show up and their job is to convert when they're ready. And I think that's such a valuable thing. He said it slightly differently, but that's basically the gist of what he said. And was, remember that you might talk to people for like 6 months and then one day they'll be ready. And when they are, you just need to be there. That's all that it actually means, is just show up and be there and continue to make it clear how they can work with you.
Absolutely. So along the lines, we say, show up with your gifts and serve people powerfully with content, not freaking dancing reels and becoming an influencer type stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. Like real content that shows that you know what you're doing, you love what you're doing, why people would work with you, the best kind of clients, like education-based content rooted in story. They will, 1, remember you, and 2, buy when they're ready.
Yeah. And on that note, there's something you said that kind of triggered, which for me that I think about a lot of times, is some people get really caught up in number of followers. This is something I hear a lot, but I only have 400 followers. I only have this many people on my email list. I don't know that's a big. And what I've seen over and over and over again is people can build wildly successful businesses with not a lot of followers. You don't need a lot of people in your audience. You need the right people in your audience. And then you need to serve them in a way that they will go out and be your advocates over and over and over again.
Yeah. Aligned audience growth is huge.
Yeah.
Notice I said aligned.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what's crazy? I talk about this with one of my friends all the time. Sometimes somebody won't be aligned for you, right? So like they might float into your universe and leave again because they're not aligned. And then 6 months later, something shifts and they're aligned and they end up in your audience, and that's great. And it happens the other way too, where you're aligned for a period of time and then you're just not anymore. So they come in and they go out, and that's okay. And that's kind of what you want.
Well, it's all natural and organic, which I know we're going to talk about.
Completely. Okay, let's move to topic number 3 that I want to talk to you about. So you call yourself the queen of organic marketing, which is a pretty bold statement. And organic marketing, I find, is another one of those sort of like buzzy phrase terms that it seems like there's a lot of definitions for. So first off, how do you define it?
Organic marketing is marketing where you have not paid anyone for anything to place it, to post it, to affiliate it, to add it, put it on an ad.
Yeah. So do you put like SEOing? Do you think that's organic, or is that still starting to move into not organic?
Oh no, SEO is very organic.
Okay. So SEO is organic. Content creation, like content inbound, is kind of like a topic, like a hot topic for it. What else do you do for activities in organic?
Email marketing, growing my email community, talking to them, building relationships, going out and sitting down and having dinner with people and then seeing if they want to stay connected. Putting out really great content on Medium or LinkedIn, newsletter, or my blog that people can then, in my business, all roads lead to email, because that's where I believe is the most sustainable way to grow a long lasting business that gives you the time and financial freedom you want. So, to me, it's how can I say what I need to say, whether I'm on a stage here with you, give a call to action. People can go take the quiz. They can go join whatever. Podcast, organic marketing. There's so many organic marketing channels.
What's your favorite organic marketing channel?
Sorry, I want to back that up. There are so many ways to do organic marketing. And my favorite way is to share a really great resource with people on social and get them onto my email list. And I do want to talk about something here that I think is really important. I do call myself the queen of organic marketing only because that title was given to me. And I was like, first I was like, oh, I can't say that. And then I went to sleep and I woke up the next day and I said, I am the queen of organic.
Yep.
And I'm going to claim it. But we grew a nearly $1 million a year revenue brand with no paid ads of any kind. The day that we were able to proclaim that, now this is the crazy thing, and I'm getting ready to start talking about this, which was September of last year.
Yeah.
We took out ads. It has been a shit show.
Oh, I know, right?
But you know why I had to do that? There was a reason. One, I needed to challenge my own belief that what if maybe, just maybe it would work. I am a marketing strategist. I am a messaging strategist. I'm a relationship builder. I hired the best of the best to do the rest and to get the ads going. And they have worked their ass off. I have nothing to say bad about the people that I hired.
Yeah.
But what I am going to say, October, November, December, January, it is now February. We are 5 months in. I have dropped $12,000 and I have the lowest quality leads of people ever.
Yeah.
No one is converting. And this isn't including my ad spend. All right. And okay, no one is converting. I'm not even going to go that far. They won't even get into a conversation with us about where they are at in their journey. I'm talking about having a DM conversation. They come to the Facebook group or an email conversation after they take the quiz or whatever the hell it is, right? But Andrea, you know why I did this? Because I am coming out next month. I'm turning ads off Friday. And I'm coming out with every single ounce of data I have collected to make my case even stronger for the power of organic marketing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And you said something, I'm curious if I heard you right or understood what you said. You said they are not converting. Are you finding even your organic marketing is not converting as well because of your ads, or did I misunderstand that?
Oh, the people who are coming onto our list from the ads are not even ideal people, even though the messaging and the marketing, I can guarantee you is on point. Like I got that on lockdown, the messaging specifically. And I have noticed this last week, my organic reach is down so low. And I mean, I know it's because Facebook knows that I'm running ads over here. So they're making sure people don't see if it's not an ad. I know this. This is why I have been so against ads from day one. It's why I have $1 million business that's super profitable, by the way, with a 40% profit margin, right? Because I'm not just about the revenue. And it's why I said, okay, the last thing I'm going to do before I really do this is I'm going to give my all to ads, and I'm going to track every single thing. And then I'm going to put out some reports and case studies, and I'm going to have the data now to talk about it.
One thing I've really appreciated about getting to know you is that you're clear about boundaries and just like, I know I have a good product and I know I can help these kinds of people get this kind of result. End of story. That means that relationships are just clean and easy because you convert. And I think a lot of sometimes like that paying for ads or some of the stuff that goes back and forth amongst brands could be because there's not a really solid value proposition, like a solid delivery for people. So I like that about working with you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Steph, tell me where people can find you.
Well, if you'd like to know your superpower marketing, you should take the quiz.
Totally. Yeah.
Which is at joyfulbusinessrevolution.com/quiz. It's 8 questions, y'all. So don't abandon it. It'll take you all of 3 minutes.
Totally. And I love the quiz. I did it. I'm going to go do it again though, because I want to make sure that I answered like you actually sold me a little bit more on it in this conversation. I'll make sure I put the links below of any video that this happens to be on of where you can go and find the content personality quiz. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful conversation.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I hope you found this helpful. And like I mentioned before, if you have questions that we didn't answer about pricing and transparency and how to do it, or you have some sort of special case that you think you want some help with, mention it in the comments below. I'm happy to answer what I can and help out where we can. We really want an army of people who are clear about their pricing, transparent with their values, and can create massive impact for their clients. Until next time, my name is Andrea. Make it a great week.